He dismissed me at exactly 1:05 a.m. over a video call. No apology. No justification. Just one sentence that still echoes in my mind. Marcus will be overseeing operations from now on. His face flickered in the pale glow of the screen, composed, confident, certain I'd take it in silence. I didn't argue. I didn't plead. I gave a single nod and said quietly, "Got it." Then I closed the laptop, poured myself a drink, and began dismantling 5 years of my life, methodically, piece by piece. By dawn, my resignation letter was written, every file backed up, and my bags packed. At 9 a.m., I walked out of that building. At 10:05 a.m., he fired me. By 10:05 p.m., I already had a plan. When I first met Jonathan, he wasn't the powerful CEO he later became. He was just a man desperate to make something of himself, hiding ambition behind an immaculate suit. I believed in that vision. I helped him build it. I took his crumbling factories and turned them into a $5 billion empire, 3 production plants, 2,800 workers, every process running like clockwork. That was my creation. He once told me, "You're the backbone, Daniel." And for a while I believed he meant it. Back then, we were a team. Endless nights, burnt coffee, delayed flights to foreign plants. We shared jokes, exhaustion, and the same hunger for success. But power changes people. It's slow, like rust. You don't see it until it's already corroded the metal. When the board crowned him CEO, he started calling me son. That should have been my warning. No one calls you son unless they've already decided to bury you. The shift began subtly. Meetings rescheduled without my knowledge. Emails I was no longer copied on. Decisions made at levels I was suddenly excluded from. Then came Marcus, a consultant, they said. My replacement, as I eventually learned. He was younger, smooth-talking, dripping with buzzwords and fake smiles that never reached his eyes. I taught him everything, the systems, the sequence of checks, logistics, timing, the pulse of those 3 plants. He acted eager, note-taking like a student, but he watched me the way a predator studies its prey. One evening, I caught Jonathan and Marcus behind a closed glass door. Jonathan's hands were animated, expressive. Marcus was taking notes, nodding. Between them sat my report folder. My data, my signature. That's when it clicked. They weren't planning to promote me. They were erasing me. When Jonathan fired me that night, he thought he'd humiliated me. That I'd lose control, shout, curse, beg. But I knew silence unnerves men like him more than fury ever could. I didn't delete my access. Didn't touch the severance mail. Didn't even reply. I simply archived everything. Then, over the next 18 hours, I prepared for his downfall. The plants were models of efficiency, my efficiency. Every link, every circuit, every relay passed through a system I personally designed. It was legal, yes, but delicately balanced. One misstep, and everything would grind to a halt. Jonathan didn't know that. Marcus certainly didn't. They thought productivity ran on spreadsheets. It ran on understanding. Mine. At 5:20 a.m., I logged in one last time, not to destroy anything but to make a few adjustments. I revoked minor authorizations, shifted certain automated triggers to manual override. Tiny, harmless moves. At 10:45 a.m., Marcus officially took control. At 11:32, he sent his first all-staff memo. At 11:58, Plant 2 reported machinery failures. By 12:11, Plant 1 followed. By 10:05 p.m., all 3 plants had gone silent. No explosions, no chaos, just a perfect, synchronized stillness. At 10:06 p.m., my phone rang. Jonathan's voice trembled. "What the hell did you do, Daniel?" I took a sip of coffee. "Nothing you didn't authorize. I need you back. We can fix this," he begged, voice cracking, a sound I'd never heard from him before. "I'm afraid Marcus is handling operations now," I replied softly. "Remember?" Silence. The longest I'd ever heard from him. Then came the whisper. "You planned this." "I managed it," I said. "Same as always." And ended the call. It took them 2 weeks to partially recover, 3 months to restore full production. By then, the board had stepped in. Marcus was quietly removed. Jonathan was forced to resign for strategic failures. I didn't lift a finger after that. I didn't have to. The system I built was loyal to its creator. I watched from afar as headlines devoured him. CEO's mismanagement causes $1.2 billion loss. Operational collapse triggers investor panic. Anonymous source suggests internal sabotage. Months later, he called again. No anger this time, only defeat. You win, he said. I almost laughed. I wasn't playing. Revenge isn't loud. It's not fireworks or fury. It's quiet, precise. A knife, not a bomb. I never wanted his ruin, just his realization. And I got it, in that one broken sentence at 10:06 p.m. when he finally understood what he'd thrown away. That was enough. I don't regret what I did. I only regret believing that silence meant weakness. He forgot the first rule of power. The one who builds it always knows where the switch is. And that night, when he smirked and said, "Marcus will handle operations," I smiled because he'd just handed me the match.